Hello, everyone. I'm Jean-Claude at BeyondMystic, and welcome to this very special report tonight of the Divine and Feminine Oracles. Of course, it's a full moon. You can find my guest tonight at MAISONJupiter.com here on the web and also on YouTube at Maison Jupiter. Julie, Sophie, welcome back to the show.
Hi.
Hey, JC. Hey, Sophie. Hey, everybody.
I'm
nice
excited
to
to
see
have
you. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight on this live interactive show. We have a lot of energies to discuss with respect to the full moon. We are also going to be taking a lot of your personal questions here tonight. But before we start, Julie, Sophie, what's new in your life? What's been going on in the last couple of weeks?
Sophie?
Yeah, big energies. We have, of course, you know it. We lost our dad last week. So thank you so much, people, for all the support and the love. Of course, when something like that happens, we want to shut down the rest of the world and just be with our feelings. But it was hard to do with all the love that we received from you guys. Thank you so much. It was overwhelming to see the amount of emails and the love from you. It was amazing. Even when I could not sleep, I was reading them and was like feeling so at peace. Thank you so much.
Wow, very good. I'm getting shivers already just thinking and listening to you say that. Julie, how about yourself? How are you doing?
Yeah, and as Sophie was saying right before the video, tonight we're talking about the full moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius is about community. So I have to say we felt a lot of your support. The whole community's support really came through. It made, like, of course, it was really hard emotionally, and we're still in shock because it was like something very sudden that we didn't really expect. But it's like a really a mixed bag of emotions, because there's the sadness, but also the gratefulness of having so much support throughout the community, and from you, JC. Thank you so much for coming to the funeral. We really appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And I wanted to say thank you also to all the audience members. I did receive all of your emails, your messages, and I did my best to send that all to Julie and Sophie. And it helped me out too. I know it was hard, and I know my friends here were having a tough time. So a big thank you to all of you guys in the audience and supporting us. And I did, if you haven't seen the show, I think on Monday night or Tuesday night with Janine, I did bring you guys over with me with that purple flower. That was the representation there of the Beyond Mystic audience to the funeral. So I have to say one thing. I don't think I've said this live already, but it was fascinating to me. I'm very sensitive to energies, of course. And as soon as I walked in, le salon funéraire, how do you say that in English? Funeral home? Is that how do you say it? I'm not sure. Okay, I'm asking the French girls, of course, how to say this in English. Anyways, how do you say it? Awake? Is it awake in English? Well, you guys help me in the chat. At any rate, where we were saying our final goodbyes to the body in the coffin. So whatever that terminology is, there was one big predominant feeling in the room, and that feeling was Julie and Sophie's father beaming with pride at his two daughters in the room. You could just tell how proud he was of you guys, and that was basically, it was like a big blanket of love in the room from your daughter, from your father. So I was like, it was very, very. Yes, everybody's saying it's awake. Okay, so I guess it's awake in English. Going to awake, I think so. Okay. So, anyways, yes, a big thank you to all of you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I was like, I'm not crying tonight. I'm not crying. I'm crying really hard.
No. And again, Alain was just so proud and so happy throughout the day. Like it was just, the energies were so, if you had to dial in a radio station, that's all you can hear was him being proud. And he kept repeating it to everybody walking by. Like, I'm so proud of my daughters. So it was really cool day. Okay. Where do we start?
One last thing, JC. Just one thing.
Ahead.
We said thank you to you, to the community, but we forgot wonderful Janine and wonderful May and everyone that did something special for us. It was unbelievable. Thank you so much. It meant a lot for us.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, good point.
I'll
it meant
share
the world
that.
to us to have like all this support, and like we really felt like he was celebrated to his the right worth and value. So really appreciated that.
Oh, for sure. And if you guys wanted to see an activation for the departing souls and you haven't seen it already, go see this episode here, Intuitive Healing with Mia Levy, from a week ago here. And there was a special segment in there for Sophie and Julie's father, but also for, generally speaking, here for the collective who are dealing with now mass departures of our collective soul families. So really, really cool episode if you haven't seen it. Now, let's get into the crux of the matter for tonight. Julie, let me see if I can bring up the... Where do you want to start? Do you want me to start with the full moon 11th chart? For some reason, I just lost it off the deck. What happened?
Yeah, let's talk about the full moon.
Okay, let me bring up this picture here then. Here we go. So guys, if you haven't seen it already, in the Astro Woo Finance for the month of August, we had forecasted this slide here. So we're now in the thick of things. Some of the things in this chart are already occurring right now for the collective. But Julie, let's recap that for the audience members.
Okay, so I swear I'm a very positive person. So this one is a bit of a downer, as I would say one of the most difficult full moons and alignment of the year. Well, of course, every difficult energy has its silver lining and you can take a lot of growth from it, but I'm just going to talk about it maybe on a more collective level to start. Why do we say it's a difficult alignment? Well, for two main reasons. So the first one is that the full moon, it's at 19 degrees of Aquarius. So you can look in your personal birth chart where it falls, where the sign, the end of the Aquarius sign falls in your chart, what house. So you're going to have other clues about what are you closing as a chapter. What do you have to release, because full moons are all about releasing energies. So first reason is that this full moon is conjunct the planet Saturn. So Saturn is a bit of a heavy type of energy. So Saturn is like the tough teacher in the astrology. So it's kind of teaching us hard work, karma, boundaries, learning how to say no. So it's really like a 3D, more dense type of energy. And whenever we have the moon really close to the planet Saturn, we're feeling a bit sometimes depressed. Sometimes we feel the limits and the restraints of the world. So it's like a more dense and heavy energy, as you can see. And also Saturn is the planet of isolation. So sometimes we can feel a bit isolated. We can feel like we have a lot of responsibilities, another of Saturn's themes. So sometimes we have a lot of responsibilities and work to do. So it's kind of bringing us a bit down, or we feel like we're bound to the matter a little bit more. So which is another theme of Saturn, being bound to the 3D world. So whenever the moon is like how we're feeling is conjunct Saturn, it's like, it's kind of a heavy energy. So that's the first reason why this one is a bit harder. And the second one is because this full moon is making what we call in astrology a grand cross. So sun and moon are opposing each other because it's a full moon. And then, so that's one side of the cross. And the other one, we have the lunar nodes. So lunar nodes are all about karma, all about destiny, big fated changes, choices to make, because every time we have a square, which is a 90-degree alignment, we have to make big choices. There is a point of tension in our life where it's like the universe pushing us to grow even more through obstacles, difficulties. So that's a square, but we have 4 squares during this full moon tonight. So that's why we call it a grand cross. So it's like a square basically, or a cross, depending on how you want to see it. So when we have this type of alignment, sometimes we feel stuck in some kind of situation, or we have a lot of responsibilities. So it's kind of weighting us down a little bit, but in the end goal, it's trying to teach us some lessons, hard work, discipline, and try to make us release some stuff in order for us to grow even more and go to the next chapter of our lives. So we know that in astrology and in life, all major decisions and all major changes are happening through obstacles and growth. So that's why it's pushing us to change. Because if we didn't have those obstacles and tough changes in our lives, maybe we would do the same thing over and over again because it feels good and we want to get into emotional security. But the universe throws you curveballs in order for you to adapt to change and experience this discomfort in order for your soul to grow. So that's kind of why this alignment is a hard one. So it's like big life changes, big life lessons. Usually I would say that for an eclipse, and we're going to have the 2 next eclipses in October and November. But this one kind of feels like an eclipse because it's in an aspect with the lunar nodes. So again, and also conjunct to the North Node, we're having Uranus that's very close to it. So it's like sudden change, rapid change. And Mars is really close to it too. So it's like this revolutionary energy that's there too. So that's like a mix of very, very, very intense energy, as you can see. So there's a lot of people that experience frustration because of this Mars, Uranus, North Node energy and want to change stuff. So there's this energy of wanting to change the status quo, wanting some more evolution in the world. And also it's in the sign of Taurus. So with financial situation, with banking. So I know a lot of events were happening earlier today. I don't know if you want to talk about it, JC, but I feel like it's really chiming with this full moon.
Well, let's give an example there too. This was in Beirut, breaking video of a hostage situation in Lebanon, a major bank in downtown Beirut here. An armed man is holding the bank staff hostage until they release his deposits. So what's going on here, just like in China, other places around the world, where banks are suddenly shuttering the doors and telling depositors, sorry about your luck, you're not getting your money back. Well, this guy is taking his... I don't even want to say it here. I just realized we're on YouTube. So yeah, there's some difficult times ahead. But what was interesting there too, the second video to that, let me see if I can bring the link here also. This was the crowd outside and they were cheering the person who was taking matters into his own hands. We'll just say that here for the YouTube algos. So incredible times indeed. And guys, this was in the Weibo data, I believe, starting in 2017 or 18. So all of this is starting to manifest now. We're heading into maybe that pivotal moment here as it pertains to the financial system. And there's a lot there in the last Astro Woo also to talk about these alignments for August and why this is a very critical month. Let me bring Sophie in as well. Sophie, before we do a general reading here on the full moon energies, I wanted to read this comment here from somebody in this chat. Hold on, as you can see. Sequoia 55, the moon is massive. I'm an Aquarius sun and ascendant. Wow, that's intense. And oh yes, so sorry for your loss, ladies. Your dad is paving the way. Do you want to talk about that briefly, Sophie? When your father passed away, the part where you pulled cards and Janine pulled cards, and you both came with almost the exact same message here to relate to your dad paving the way here. Do you want to share that with the audience? You feel okay with that?
Sure. So after if I'm going to cry, I'm just going to cry. Today is about accepting your feelings. Yeah. So shortly after that passing, my sister asked me to read cards about what is the reasoning why he died so suddenly. So I got that we have extended his life as much as possible, and there was no more time left for him. And then I got that he had something bigger to start right away. And of course, when it's your dad, it's someone that you have around. Even with my cards, I'm struggling to see, is it just my feelings that is tainted by the cards, or is it really the truth? But Janine picked on the same message, and we were just blown away that it was really the secret message in that is that he had to leave to, yes, take care of us from far away, but take care of our future and the community and everyone to help to pave the road. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Julie, speak to the mission component of that too. You were getting inklings in the last couple of weeks also that perhaps he was going to be departing, but talk about the mission part and what Janine was also pulling here to collaborate here with Sophie just said.
Yeah, well, first of all, maybe I should say that our dad was always very spiritual from a fairly young age. And he was probably awake before everyone else with like all the conspiracy theories out there. He knew all about it from a long, long time ago. So definitely paving the way there. And so like since we were really, really young, I was hearing about like Edgar Casey, everything that would happen to our world, the dimension shift, the governments falling down. So, you know, like we've been aware of it for a long time because of him. Yeah. So Janine got in her cards that he would, he had like another mission for to help the big shift, the earth. And I had a dream maybe a couple of days after, and in my dream he was standing right in front of me and he was telling me I need to go for some sort of how would you say, formation, not a
training.
Yeah,
some sort of training. And he was kind of saying it was for the alliance and trying to help the world in some kind of specific way, but he kind of said he had to go away for training. It was a secret mission. So I was like, okay.
And I had the same message. If you remember the day of the funeral, we had I had a dream that he was going away and that he had to kiss us goodbye, because it was the last time that it would be really strong with us.
Oh, that's so true. I forgot about this one. Yeah. Wow. So it's crazy because we went to see a medium too. And then Sophie's cards and Janine's cards and my dream, everything kind of meshed in together. And it's like, it's helping a lot because like, of course I miss him and I have my mourning to do, but it helps a lot to understand it from a bigger perspective that he's going to be helping on the other side and he's going to be helping us. So it really feels good.
Very cool. Well, thank you. You're getting a lot of love in the chat. Thank you, everyone in the chat. And also a big thank you to Carla from Ascension Organites. I saw you comment a little bit earlier. Here you go. Nice triple hearts there. And guys, if you haven't already seen it, go check out this pyramid from last night's show. Absolutely amazing. This is Sabrina. The colors are absolutely fantastic and through the roof. Please do go check it out here. You can find her on Ascension Organites on YouTube, but also here on the web. If you're looking at getting one of these amazing pyramids for yourself, you can do so at ascensionorganites.com. And of course, if you use the coupon code BeyondMystic, you'll get an extra 10% off there as well. Okay, Sophie.
Keep the website. I just bought the blue one. I don't remember. Oh, Sean. The name is Sean. I just bought the blue one.
From the Divine Masculine series.
Yeah, because it was our dad's favorite color, bright blue, like my nails. And he loved lapis lazuli, I guess we say in English. Lapis lazuli. Yeah. So it was his favorite stone too. So when I saw this new pyramid, I was like, wow, okay, that's the one I'm gonna keep.
I'm looking for it now. Is it on the website? Because we had it the other day.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, this one here, Sean. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love this one. Yeah. Wow.
That's the one. So I was like, in my head, like she made it for her dad. So I was like, yep, that's the one.
Perfect. I love it too. Okay. Julie, back to you. Let's pull some cards and see here for the collective reading, this energy that we're all going to be dealing with here in this big full moon here tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have to say something too. Hold on. Where did it go? Barbara said, Julie and Sophie, you guys receive so much love because you constantly send out love to us. God bless you both. Isn't that amazing? Thank you, Barbara. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Barbara. That's amazing.
So let's see what this full moon brings. The first card says that you will have to reinvent yourself. So the sun card is your place in the world, and we have reinvention next to it. So we will have kind of a moment here where we need to talk about what is it that you want to bring in your life anymore, and to make space for what is it that you really truly resonate with, and to release, of course, because it's a full moon, it's all about releasing what is no longer you. So bring the things that are feeling you warm, feeling you in the light, in the good vibration, and release what is no longer with your own energy. The first card was red flag. So every time that you have a situation that is more in the anger or in the struggle, this needs to go. So I use now, since the last activation with May, I use her trick, her sacred no, and I use to place my hand on where I feel the blockage in my body, and I just take a couple of breaths. So maybe just take a moment to feel how you really resonate with certain situation in your life, and reinvent yourself with what is really making you shine.
Right. Wow.
Can I add to that? Oh my God. That was amazing. Okay, I just pulled cards right before the video, and it's exactly what Sophie said. Okay, so first one I had, it's called letting go.
Uh-huh.
And second one was, wait for it, rise above it. So it's like, wow, okay. And in the card that says rise above it, it says choose to vibrate higher. So it's basically like the universe testing you in a way, bringing you some maybe challenges, harder things to deal with, maybe more work, more responsibilities, Saturn. And it's like your choice if you want to rise above it, and if you're willing to let go of what's been holding you down, like the dead weight. So it's
one thing that's been a recurring theme in the last 2 years on my YouTube channel, whether that's Janine and other speakers, it's all this concept of letting go in order to embrace the new. And so we are going through this big transition. We're moving into a period of time where we get to collectively create the world that we want. But in order to do that, we have to let go of some of those old structures that are falling apart, the people who are falling out of frequency. So there's a lot of letting go for all of us. Yes. So very good advice. For sure. Sophie, I wanted to bring you back on the screen. Also, we haven't had you on for a while here, and I wanted to ask you, of course, without giving any details or private details from some of your client bookings, but is there a consensus right now? Is there a common denominator? Like what are people asking for right now when they book a meeting with you? How is that going?
Yeah, it's funny because every time it's like a couple of weeks where there's the same team recurring, and then it's moving from another team. So it's really fun because it used to be all about moving, and now everybody feels stuck. So with the energy that you just mentioned, it's crazy because even my card are saying, unstuck yourself. You're the star. So I think that's the last thing that I had to add, by the way. Right now, for everyone that I have in consultation, the team is unstuck yourself. But with this energy of the full moon, it's really important that you see yourself as a priority and as this big star in your life. And it's okay to release the pressure of what is expecting of you from everything in the outside world. Just be true to yourself. Sometimes it's really hard, even when I see a lot of gifted people in my consultation, they are struggling being true with themselves because they are hypersensitive. And now it's the time with Aquarius to really release that and to let that go through. And sometimes it's releasing and also 9-to-5 jobs right now to unstuck yourself from that low vibration energy.
Wow, very cool.
And it's funny because,
what about with? Oh, go ahead, Julie.
I wanted to say it's funny you say that, Sophie, because Saturn, which the moon is conjunct with at this full moon, is all about saying no. Like you were talking about the sacred no, setting boundaries. So learning how to set healthy boundaries also. So obviously, if you're very empathic, you want to make everybody around you okay all the time. Like that's my case. So I struggle with setting up more healthy boundaries, but that's all about Saturn. So if you really want to work with the highest vibrations of this full moon, it's really about that. It's setting healthy boundaries.
Wow, really cool. Epo Lemberg on the screen is saying, yes, book her now. Yes, you can do so at MAISONJupiter.com. There you're looking for the consultation tab. Sophie, also, before we do that, is there a recurring theme? I know we've talked about this in a previous show where because we're in this era of transformation, it feels that a lot of us are coming into these huge karmic loops and we're getting the opportunities to finally maybe cut some of those loops. Are people asking about past lives? How's that going right now?
99% of the people, I start with past life for the first 15, 20 minutes. And what I do is I basically go through 2 of your past lives. And I look at what is your mission, what is your recurrent theme. Sometimes it can bring also illnesses or just pain in your body that you are not conscious comes from somewhere else. So since it's resurfacing, I can release that. I can help you resolve it and also resolve any kind of fear, phobias that are resurfacing with those 2 lives. Sometimes I see what kind of soul you are. So if you are more of a teacher or a healer or protector, warrior, any kind of soul, it's like an astrology for your soul. It's how can you be fulfilled in this life going into your mission.
Right.
So I start with that normally.
Okay, very good. And Trillium says Sophie is fantastic. I love you guys. If you guys have already had a booking with Sophie, let us know in the live chat how that went. Of course, if you're willing to share your experience, it's always interesting for other people who might be new to the channel to understand here how amazing these readings are with Sophie. So again, that's MAISONJupiter.com. And not to forget the amazing Julie here also. As we are moving into, again, this age of Aquarius, this huge transformation, Julie, speak about having your birth chart, understanding the alignments of these planets around you, how they're affecting you, but how you can use them with the knowledge to propel yourself into this new age and to make the appropriate changes for your proper evolution. How does that work, Julie?
Yeah, so on the website, you can order your personalized birth chart in the color of your choice. So it's basically like a printable poster that you can put up on your wall and have it nearby every time we talk about those astrology alignments, because it's not a static thing, having a birth chart. It's all the time moving and receiving energy from the planets in the sky. So for instance, this full moon we're having now, it's influencing your own birth chart depending on where it falls and what house it falls. So having your own birth chart, it helps you really learn how to flow with these energies, to take what's best for the energy and how to channel the energies in the best way possible, because sometimes there's easier alignments you can work with, sometimes it's harder, like this one. But if you really learn how to channel it the right way, it's gonna, like, life is going to feel a lot more in flow, as opposed to being resistant and not in the flow with the energies. So basically that's it. So like, for instance, if I can expand on the subject, in my own birth chart right now, I'm having like this whole Grand Cross. The South Node is falling in my 4th house, and the North Node with Uranus and Mars is falling in my 10th house, so career. So I have to let go of a lot of family and home responsibilities in order for me to have even more energy to develop the career part. So like with what just happened last week, for sure it was really hard, but at the same time I kind of knew I had to let go of a lot of family stuff and home stuff, because I have to, like, what's being asked of me right now for my life mission is to really focus there. So
right. Wow, really cool. Carla says, I have mine already. I printed it up and it's next to my Yoga Elena candles. Of course, you can find those also on Maison. Thank you, Carla. I appreciate that. M. Cassidy says, Sophie is dead on in her readings. Her ability to pinpoint where in the body that needs healing is wonderful. Oh, I have an experience with that. When she read me, she told me something that very few people actually know, and I was really shocked and surprised. Yes, 3 consultations and on our way. Now in Portugal, just like Sophie got from a reading. We love you. Wow, thank you so much.
Wow.
Appreciate those comments. That's absolutely cool. Guys, this is the time now. If you have any questions for either Sophie or Julie. How do we want to break this down, Julie? Do we want their ascendant and all that to do astrology also? Do you want to do more the guidance cards? What do you feel, Julie, like doing?
Yeah, if you know your rising sign and your sun sign, you can put them both with your question. So maybe, like, for example, I'm Leo rising, Virgo sun, and I'd like to know about, let's say, my career. So we're going to pull cards and look at the astrology for you.
Okay, very good. Veronica says, I had my booking with Sophie a couple of hours ago. It was fantastic. Okay, really cool. I love that. And Jenny Alicia, I had a reading with Sophie and we did a zodiac style reading where she pulled cards for each house. It was really great. Wow, thank you so much. I appreciate that, Jenny, as well. Okay, so while we wait for the I guess the questions to be populated here in the live chat, I have a question for Sophie. In the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to ask you to choose your words very carefully here. It's a delicate subject matter. There was a lot of weird things happening around this gentleman here. And so a lot of people were saying that perhaps these events are leading to him maybe being indicted or maybe being arrested or incarcerated, etc., etc. So let's ask, generally speaking here, is it possible that that's in the cards for this individual? And we can call this individual Mr. T from the old 1980s TV sitcom. People will know what we're talking about. Go ahead, Sophie.
Right now, it says that he feels really confident. So I don't think that he has really a lot to hide, but we have a tower underneath that, so they got something on him. That it's true or not, they got something right now. It will bring a lot of confusion because there's a lot of people involved and it's way bigger than he thinks. So could it lead to something that it's like jail or something? I don't think so. It's all about the money. It's all about reputation and his worth.
Huh. That's interesting because the reputation there is leading into how do you call these in the States? Not the primaries, but what are the midterm elections? What are the midterm elections called? Okay, the midterms. Yes, and his popularity and all that also is affecting here in a positive way the candidates that are running under his banner. Now, what was interesting also, I asked a question to our friend with the letter J on Monday, and she also said she also pulled the Tower card moment. So she was expecting that whatever happens here, it could be a very strategic, it could be a big show. But that would also maybe galvanize a couple of next steps here coming forward, perhaps even with the financial systems. Again, you're getting the finances there as you're picking that card. Julie, I wanted to bring this part up for you as well, if you can chime in on that. On this particular chart at the bottom there, you had, let me see if I can get this out of the way here, separation between people expands further, right? So right now, we saw huge crowds of support for this individual. And at the same time, we're seeing the Democrats on TV telling us, you know, nobody's above the law, et cetera, et cetera. So it's further separating the population. Right on cue here for this full moon. Is there anything else on this chart here that would suggest that we're right on time? And also remind the audience members about his personal astrology for the month of August and perhaps why they're trying to curtail what could be in the cards for him, so to speak. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. Let's start okay. So when I wrote that slide, it was maybe mid-July because we were preparing for the Astro Woo of August. So just saying it's been a while. But I wrote that because this full moon is activating the Saturn-Uranus square. So we're going to have to be under the influence of this square for the whole rest of the year. Because we had this alignment before last year. We had it exact 3 times. And Saturn and Uranus, I know you guys, if you watched me before, I talked a lot about it. Saturn is the powers that we're trying to keep control as much as they can. Uranus is our collective future, is the revolution energy. And those two are like battling each other. So last year, this battle was expressing through more constraints, more regulations, but also all the protests around the world that we had. So this same alignment is coming back now, activating tonight around this full moon, because we have the moon right next to Saturn, and it's going to activate this orb even more throughout the rest of the year. So it's like the launch, the big launch of this very okay, I'm not gonna say this word right. Confrontational.
Yeah, that's good.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this big confrontation energy, that's like old world versus new world.
Right.
So basically, it's activating even more polarizing energies. So people that are, let's say, it's not even that. I know you guys understand, but Democrats, Republican, black versus white, anything goes in that separation, or trying to separate people. But it's going to be very, very polarizing for everybody. They're trying that as much as they can, but also it's like old world versus new world type of energy that are battling each other. So this is happening while we looked at Mr. T's birth chart, and there were a lot of signs for me to say that he was coming back into the forefront of the spotlight during August, because he's having the triple conjunction that we had Mars, Uranus, North Node on his midheaven. So midheaven is like your most public sphere in your birth chart. So he's coming back to the forefront of the stage. Also, he's having I don't quite remember by heart, but he's having something to do with his 12th house. I think it was the sun in his 12th house. So 12th house is everything that's been hidden. And I got also that he would be helping throughout this whole transition with the money system. So I feel like what's been happening with him this past week is probably this Saturn energy trying to hold him back from having this big, let's say, position in this financial transition that he's about to take. So, but I don't think it's going to prevent anything, but it's just like this Uranus-Saturn square expressing itself even more.
Right. The big final war is upon us here. Okay, Sophie, let's get started with you here. I'll bring up the question also, so if Julie wants to take a stab at it with the astrology, also she can line up her chart here for the Aries Sun and Virgo rising. But Susan is asking, is my mission tied to the financial abundance we are expecting? I'm eager to receive clarity on my mission and financial picture. Love the three of you. So what do you have for Susan? Sophie, let's pull some cards.
The mission is always harder to get with the cards. When I do a consultation, I do it with past life to get a fuller picture of where your soul evolution is at. But I will try to get with, the mission with the cards.
Okay.
Ascending is your first card. That's very thrilling, because that means that you just stepped into a new mission. And just like this full moon, part of your mission is to take fast decision. We have the divine timing here. So that's why you have been born with Sun in Aries, because Aries wants to be quick about decision, and you need to put yourself first in all decision that you take. So what I'm seeing here is that your mission is success, yes, and also to keep, how would I put it? Your stress level is linked to your abundance, your financial abundance. Because of that fast decisions, if you're taking time to make your decision in your life about your finances, you are creating a lot of stress, and that could make you more heal with small things in your life, and that will make you learn the lesson that you have to be quick. And this is your mission in life.
Wow. Okay. Sophie, anything you want to add? Sophie, Julie, anything you want to add from the astrology chart? Do you want me to bring you up on the screen also with your chart?
Yeah,
Okay.
why not?
All right. Ronnie
So,
says hello. Hello, Ronnie. Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you here. Thank you for
hey.
joining us here tonight. Julie.
Okay, so I put the chart of right now what we're having at this full moon, Virgo rising, and her sun is in her 8th house in Aries. So 8th house is a financial house, meaning that probably, yes, your life mission is very much linked to receiving abundance, but also the 8th house is all about power. It's all about personal power, also your Kundalini awakening, and your ability to magnetize financial abundance, but also all sorts of abundance. So it's very much linked, your abundance is very much linked with your personal growth. So it's all about the 8th house. So probably that you've been through a lot of transformations in your life, and it's going to be that way for most of your life, because the universe is kind of asking you to always grow. And that way you're attracting a lot more abundance, and you're clearing a lot of karma, because the 8th house is all about that. It's all about Kundalini awakening, as I said. So yeah, and I see the triple conjunction that we just had, and the sign of Taurus fall in your 9th house, which is the house of spirituality, of expansion. So I'm seeing that if you have some sort of spiritual practice or projects relating to spirituality, expanding your horizons, teaching, learning, this can really help you gain more abundance. So,
Okay, really cool. Let me grab a question here from the Insider Access Pass, and I'll get back to the live chat here. I have 4 or 5 lined up already. Secret Squirrel. Oh yeah, so this was a question we had the other day. Let me see if I can bring up an image here about the moon. A lot of people are reporting. Whoops, the wrong screen. There you go. A lot of people are reporting that the moon isn't always where it's supposed to be as of late. So people are kind of wondering what's happening with the moon. Some people are suggesting that perhaps it's being moved somehow, and that there's a message behind all of this because of the timing that we're in now, and because we're about to face some of the biggest challenges here on the planet. Now, Secret Squirrel is asking, are they moving the moon to fix the weather? Or, Sophie, let's pull some cards on this. Is there something happening to the moon, to our matrix, in order to maybe awaken us? What can you pull from the cards here with respect to the moon and people's perception of it as of late, and how it could change maybe the trajectory here of this challenge in front of us?
Yep. Definitely moving. We have invasion and defense with boundaries. So definitely moving. Let me just get second row of cards. Yes, definitely moving. You're not going to find this in official record. I don't think this is hidden information. This is something that is not for us to know, apparently. The reasoning why, there's something really interesting with that. It has to do with spirituality. It has to do with our emotion. It has to do with the new view on what is happening. And this closeness to us brings a lot more of emotion, but a lot more of awakening too.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Okay. So I just put the moon spinning above us there,
Love
above Sophie. I forgot to do that at the beginning of the show. I thought it was apropos. But yes, ask the question, Julie. What's going on?
Okay, Sophie, do you think it's like a good energy to be looking at the full moon tonight? Is it something that's going to help us frequency-wise, or is it something that's detrimental for us?
Yeah, because a lot of people say that the moon is really a repeater station for perhaps Saturn. And Saturn, of course, the timekeeper, keeping us into this matrix system. So a lot of people have issue with the moon and the frequencies that come from it. But at the same time, we are, because of our water inside of our body, very much affected by the cycles of the moon when it comes to our energies or emotions, as we were saying. So yeah, Sophie, what can you pull on that? Sophie, you're on mute. You have to unmute yourself, Sophie.
That helps, right?
Yes.
It does.
So yes, I'm seeing what you guys are seeing. We have suspect and we have paralyze, we have push over, but in the end, because that energy is bringing more energy, it's like an energy that is maybe an energy that is not a perfect one, but at the very end of the day, it brings us to really look into ourselves, and that brings us the awakening. So if this energy, like you said, is not the best one, it still, at the end of the day, does something good to us because it leads us to be more awakened.
It helps us release. So
Yep.
do you think the moon is like helping us maybe see our traumas even more under the light? Is it helping purge some stuff out of us?
It's helping us to see the bigger picture and to have the other side of the reality that we did not see. So it's really making us more in contact with something else that brings another level to what we have to understand in this life. And in the end of the day, it's releasing. So that's more of the full picture that it brings to us.
Okay, hold on. That's fascinating. Okay, so first of all, the moon is looking different as well. Yes, you're right. And Susan says, thank you, JC, for taking my question, and also Julie and Sophie for reading your messages. Very validating for her. So thank you, Susan. I appreciate the feedback there. Sophie, let me pull you a little bit more. You guys are honing in on something here too. There's a lot of ET experiencers, people who've had near-death experience, also the NDEs, who somehow have garnered or internalized the information that perhaps the moon is responsible in some way with our reincarnation process. And so in the context of what we're saying now, seeing the other side, and something is failing, I think is the words you just said, Sophie. Is it possible that that whole matrix of reincarnation, we just talked about breaking those old karmic loops, that there is something that's breaking at that energetic level, and this is what is giving the humans maybe the opportunity to chart their own course here moving forward for their next incarnations? Does that make sense? Let's see if we can pull on that.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I'm sorry, that sounds like a convoluted story, but I was downloading at the same time as talking there. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. So it's really more than what I was just intentionally wanted to bring into that discussion, but I think that we just step into a big topic here. I think that this brings, like I said, another level, another layer of reality that we were not dealing with. So it's making us in this reality deal with even more now. And this brings us to have to deal with the bigger picture. So not all of us, I'm assuming, will be at the same vibration, will be having the same experiences. And this bigger moon, this bigger energy that emanates from that, will be creating another layer. So like you said, maybe it will be something that has to do with, let me just get on that. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that's fascinating because I just pulled a card too. Can I share? Do you want to finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. The same card all the time these days. Do we say multi-dimensional or multi-dimensional? I never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So multi-dimensional. So I always pull this card recently. So it's kind of like exactly what you said, Sophie. I feel like we're going to experience the energy of the moon very differently regarding in what frequency we are. So it's like the moon is going to present herself differently, and we're going to see something totally different, and it's going to take something different from our experience and show us a different reflect of us depending on our own frequency.
Do we know if this is responsible for the veil that we are experiencing? Because what I have as a final card is this is a confusion that we are all in when we incarnate. We have the falling of this destruction of it, and we have being free from this. So could this new layer bring some kind of releasing of this veil?
I believe so, because again, if you go into that narrative or that theory that perhaps the moon is a repeater station for Saturn, if that repeater station is breaking, then so too is that matrix. And so basically that veil is also thinning. And that's what's happening now too. We're getting a lot of reports of people being even closer to the dead. They're getting closer to people in 4D and 5D. There's pockets of 5D here on the planet. That's fascinating. And what was interesting too, for 2022 in February, this movie came out, Moonfall. Guys, if you haven't seen this movie, you're watching now live, go check it out. There's a lot of fascinating stuff in there as well. And I won't break it to you, but anyways, it's just interesting that it came now, and that we're all also right now, maybe a couple of months later, having this conversation about the moon and what perhaps is happening to it or from it. Julie, that is spot on. Kira Spark says, I love it. The veil is thinning too. Smiling eyes. Thank you so much. Okay. Julie, anything else to add on the moon before I pick the next question?
So funny because right after our dad's passing, we booked an appointment with a medium that receives messages from the other side. So she's really, really good. And she's like, oh, your dad keeps bringing up the moon. And at first we were like, and why is that? She's like, do you have an idea why? And we're looking at each other and we're like, I'm like, well, I'm an astrologer. And she's like, okay, I don't know anything about astrology, but is the moon important in astrology? I'm like, well, kind of. But she's like, okay, so we're trying to figure it out. But the moon keeps coming back on the subject since then around us, not even just Sophie and I, but like you guys were talking about it on Wednesday, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's like the moon is like such a big topic right now. So I feel like it has a big part to do with what the Alliance is doing right now, liberating us from the old matrix, and maybe even our dad working there. So it's kind of very convoluted, yes.
Wow. Well, your dad talking about the moon too. I said this to somebody the other day. Oh, he might be at the LOC, the Lunar Operation Command, where he's getting his training now. Anyways, it's a whole other story. But what's interesting also, very recently, Carla was picking up on this too. And this beautiful pyramid here, Nora, to me, represents the energies of the moon. Really, really cool pyramid also. Guys, again, go check it out. AscensionOrganites.com. Let me bring the link down below for you guys here. And Beyond Mystic is the coupon code there for an extra 10% off. Oh my God, we're almost on the hour. This is going so fast. Let me see if I can pick another question.
Jordan said, didn't you say the moon is connected to silver somehow? Yes. In astrology, the moon is silver and gold is connected with the sun. So exactly. So I feel like everything that we were picking up in the field about silver having a very important place spiritually in our protection, but also in our in the big shift that we're experiencing right now. So I feel like we might be discovering the real value of silver, the real spiritual value of silver very soon.
Well, why don't we ask you to pull some cards on that? Sophie, a lot of people are saying here too, we just saw that JP Morgan traders found guilty of spoofing the market, manipulating the prices here. Is it possible that that manipulation, which many people have been talking about for years now, is almost on its last leg? And what does that do to silver prices moving forward in the context also of Mr. T and perhaps these changes to the financial system? While you pull cards on that, Sophie, I want to share with the audience who this is the third strike of the Beyond Mystic logo bars. Hot off the press, Andy just sent me this. This is the first one out of the production machine. Of course, the symbol for universal love. It finalizes the triune of the three Beyond Mystic bars. It will be up for sale here in the next couple of days. I'll be putting up the special order form on our website. First, to the Insider Access Pass members, a big thank you for you guys. You always get the first dibs on all of these amazing products and coupons, and it will be available for the public at large shortly thereafter. Sophie, let's get into Sophie. What's going on with silver? Oh my God, I'm having trouble.
It's really exciting. So I'm really glad that I have this question today, because it says right now, this is my card that says block. And we have by the bankers. So the banks are blocking, of course, the evolution of this fantastic awakening material, and we have the next card, awakening, and we have the justice. So we have the balance back soon, but right now it's still blocked by the banks. So we have that. Next to the balance, we have burning desire. The demand will be crazy, the price will be high. We have here the abundance. So there will be a really big fascination, a big boom suddenly with that. And again, after, it's going to be the devil, so the excess, and everyone will ask for this, and there will not be enough quickly after it. So get your silver now.
And no, I didn't plan that, folks. But if you're interested in those, yes, you can get the first two Beyond Mystic silver bars. Of course, one of them is the star card, the Tahoe star card, and the second one, the Beyond Mystic logo bar. You guys can find that at beyondmystic.net/silver. The coupons for the week also on the American side here are the 2022 Britannias and Philharmonics at $450 over spot individually, or $420 over spot if you guys buy those monster boxes. And if you go over to the Canadian side of things, I think we've just changed the special here today. They were supposed to put up the, let me see if I can reload that page, the Royal Canadian Mint silver maples here. Yes, at $749 over spot. Absolutely amazing price here in Canada. Very competitive compared to the other distributors, who most of them are out here in Canada. So check that out if you're on the Canadian side of the equation at mfbullion.ca. Julie, going back to the silver bars, anything else around silver generic? My God. Generally speaking, what do you want to add to the silver conversation, Julie?
Well, first of all, those bars are probably the only ones where, or amongst very few, that you don't have the queen in the back of this bar. So vibrationally speaking, I'm having trouble finding my words. Vibrationally speaking, I feel like it's a lot more powerful as a spiritual tool when you have all the right frequencies. So can't wait to have one.
Very good. Well, I just got my, just so you know, guys, I've been waiting for months myself. I told Andy and the folks at Miles Franklin to completely do all of the insider access pass and all the pre-orders. I wanted all of those guys to get the first bars before I got mine. So I just finally got mine a week and a half or 2 weeks ago. So I'm excited. I'm excited also for the third bar. I can't wait to see it. And isn't it apropos also, if we go back to this poster, that the first bar we produce, and basically Julie is the designer behind this. So if you guys don't know, Julie's the one here behind the amazing beauty of these bars here, but we designed that star card for a very specific reason. And as we're pulling here for the last couple of weeks, the star card is coming up a lot. So there's a lot of that ET component, or ET families. Maybe we can end on that. We're already at the hour mark. Sophie, let's start with you with the cards. How close are we to this rapprochement with our star families? It's been in the WebBot data for quite some time that in 2022 we would start talking about this in a big way, either because the ET themselves would make themselves maybe more present to some of the humans who are on the right track, or because everything else is breaking and the mainstream media and the old paradigm is trying to push this stuff out to us to distract us. Can we maybe unmuddy the waters here as it pertains to our star families and what we can expect for 2022? Go ahead.
It's there, but first we are expecting the big destruction. So that has to happen first, apparently, at some level at least. And then we have the family back. And this is the brand new energy that is entering after this destruction. And right in the middle, I have my card that says the wonder of you. So it's investigating. So we are not sure. There will be a short moment where everyone from the scientific perspective or from the more spiritual perspective that will be trying to get in contact with them for different reasons. But only those who have true hearts will be able to. So only those who have done the work will be able to have a real contact with.
Wow, fascinating. It makes a lot of sense. Julie, what would you like to add to that as well?
Well, yeah, I've been following you guys on Beyond Mystic's pay-per-view, and I feel like Janine pulled this card so often in this past weeks. So the star card that is related to the sign of Aquarius in astrology. So, and this full moon tonight is in Aquarius. So it's all about this, I would say, kind of off-world energy that's linked to Aquarius. Aquarius is all about being able to read the frequencies. So we're going into this age of Aquarius also. Right now, we're in this big transition that we're learning that everything is energy, everything is frequency, and you can connect with anything, any entity, if you have the right frequency match. So that's kind of what, as Sophie was saying, we're kind of learning with also this transition through the age of Aquarius, because Aquarius is also our star family. It's also us raising our vibrations to go into this next big chapter of our human evolution. So we're learning how to work with frequencies. So this is, I feel like, the biggest learning that we're having to learn right now.
Really cool. While you're on the screen, Julie, Stephanie is saying, what does it mean to have the star card as a life mission card? Of course, she's talking about the fact that Julie produced this amazing show that was deleted by YouTube, of course, because it had our friend in it, and we're not supposed to talk about our friends anymore, apparently. But anyways, we talked about the numerology here behind the astrology and how to find your soul essence and your life mission. We are going to be doing a specific workshop on that here very, very soon on the Beyond Mystic Academy. But Julie, generally speaking here for Stephanie, what does it mean to have the star card as your soul mission?
Well, the star card is like a very beautiful card, and it's very powerful too. So it's a really nice position for you, Stephanie. I would say that your mission is definitely related to ET contact, whether you're aware of it or not. Also, the star card is all about having big dreams, going towards your big dreams. It's all about, dreaming big, allowing yourself to have big ambitions and to really follow your heart. As the star card is all about frequency too, frequency work. If you work with the energies in some kind of way in your professional day-to-day life or not, but whether you're aware of it or not, the star card is kind of telling you that your energy, the energy you're bringing into the world, is part of your mission. So in any kind of situation, you have a frequency work, maybe frequency grid work also to do with your life mission.
Wow, really good. Yvette says, can't wait for the show. Okay, the show is going to be on Beyond Mystic Academy. If you haven't already done so and you're interested in learning tarot, you can do it in either French here with Julie at Tarot Niveau 1 or with our friend Jay here with Level 1 in English. So check that out. That's Beyond Mystic Academy, beyondmystic.academy. And this is where also we will be adding that numerology tarot workshop here in the next a couple of weeks as we all get back into the saddle here. Badger Rock, JC, when will the silver bars be available to the world? Well, right now, the first two are available for you guys. All you have to go is go to beyondmystic.net/silver, and there's a special order form at the top of the page here. The third bar, probably within a week or two here. Again, we are going to give the priority to the Insider Access Pass members who support the show. Speaking of that, if you guys love our content and you want to see more of the uncensored stuff, yes, please do go visit us at beyondmystic.net. And there you're looking for the pay-per-view. Let me see if I can bring that up for you guys. Right now, there's still a coupon code active. It's called Binge Janine. It'll give you 10% off here for the new Insider Access Pass for 2022. So if you want to check that out, I will be greatly appreciative for sure. Love the silver, JC, says Ocean Odell. All right. Last words of wisdom. I'll start with you, Sophie. Do you want to pick some cards again for the collective here, either for the moon, the full moon, the weird stuff happening for the moon, or just generally speaking here, how to navigate maybe the rest of the month of August for our collective?
Okay. So it says here that every time that you're unsure about where you should going next, because remember that energy right now, it says stuck. So a lot of people are feeling stuck. They don't know where to go next. It says that always visualize yourself and try to find the one that brings you peace. So we talked about energy, love, but start with at least something that doesn't bring you anger, stress, and resentment. Just start with something that at least brings you peace in your life, and you're going in the right direction. Eventually, motivation and loving that and energy will follow.
Wow, that's great advice. And guys, if you want more of that fantastic advice and to go even deeper into your life perspective, your life path, and perhaps your past lives also, please check out Sophie's booking page here at MAISONJupiter.com. Julie, and how about you? Last words of advice here on how to navigate the rest of August. On top of watching the Astro Woo, if you haven't already done so, please go ahead. But Julie, what else can you share with the audience?
Okay, so I picked 2 other cards right before the show, so I'm just going to show them to you. So I picked the card Cancer. So funny that the full moon is on this card because we're having this full moon tonight. So Cancer is all about emotional security. So throughout those big changes that we're having all around us, those disruptions, those challenges, like Sophie just said, it's kind of asking you to find your shell, if you will, to find your own emotional security, to make sure that you feel safe, because throughout big life changes and also world changes, it's really easy to feel scattered, to feel like your energy is all over the place, to feel like your emotions are all over the place. So it's kind of asking you to ground yourself and to have like maybe a practice of maybe self-love or something that you do, like for instance, take a bath, or I don't know, find your sacred place, sacred time for you, because I feel like it's going to be not only for this full moon, but for the rest of the year. It's going to be adapting to constant change. So this practice, I feel like it's going to be very important to really keep your feet on the ground. And to feel secure, because whenever your body doesn't feel that you have emotional security, your nervous system breaks down, and that's where you might have a lot of maybe health issues. So we don't want that. So make sure you take care of yourselves. And also I've got the card, okay, my light is okay. We have service, 6th house, and as you can see on this card, it's like building the new earth with flowers. So we're going to have to work hard to build this new earth. So make sure you take care of yourself first, because we have a lot of work coming, but I think it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah. Absolutely. And right now, Venus is in Leo. Mm-hmm. So that's the perfect timing for those who doesn't know what it means. It's the perfect timing to treat yourself like a queen or a royalty if you're a man. And it's the perfect timing to have self-care, to put yourself as a priority in your feelings. So do so, please.
And putting yourself first is always easier when you know your astrological alignment. Yeah. If you haven't already done so, please consider supporting Julie here as well by getting your personalized birth chart. You can do that at MAISONJupiter.com. And I wanted to end on this. I said it, I believe, I'm not sure which show I said it on last week, but I wanted to share this with the audience here live also. I wanted to say a big thank you to Alain, the father of Sophie and Julie here, for bringing up these amazing divine feminine oracles and making them the powerful women they are, and giving them the ability to do what they do here for this particular family and collective. So a big thank you to you, Alain, for that, sir. Much love and appreciation to you all. Okay, that was hard to say. I was going to get a little bit emotional there. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us here tonight, again, for this Divine Feminine Oracle show. Please stay tuned for more amazing content here, and please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and have a great and wonderful weekend, everybody. Merci beaucoup, Julie. Merci beaucoup, Sophie.
Merci. Thank you, JC. Thank you, everybody. Bye.